Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to talk about how things have been going for our first month of school this year for second grade. I'm going to get into the curriculum and the things that we've been loving, and one of the curriculum choices that we haven't been loving so much, and what I am planning to do with that. There's been a lot going on in this start of the school year. If you notice behind me, we're doing work around the house. If you've watched some of my older-ish videos, you'll know that we have this situation where we're renovating a back house and it's still not completely done. However, we went ahead and moved in. So there's just, things around the house, like it's a big deal moving, but also things are not finished. And so I'll just get into all of that in this video. So behind me, it's we're trying to put like an accent wall and then we're gonna paint it. So we're in the middle of that. The biggest major thing is that we don't have kitchen cabinets and we don't have a sink and vanity in our restroom. So we've just been using the bathtub for washing our hands, and we try to do like washing our dishes and stuff in the front house. So we need kitchen cabinets and sinks. That'll make a big difference in our living situation. But that's just, we're hanging in there. Okay, so I wanted to throw one of the biggest curveballs that has happened in our beginning of the school year is we had a trip that lasted a week, so that put us behind. I tried to plan though for that. I tried to start school a week early so that we would just be on track. But then another curveball happened and my son got sick. It was a pretty strong flu. And then we all got sick. So that took us out for another week. And so basically we're a little behind. Most of the subjects were a week behind. And there's a couple of subjects that we're like on track or a little ahead actually. So that's kind of, where we're at when it comes to the pace that we're at with homeschool so far. But I will say a good thing that I'm really proud of right now is that he's doing so excellent with math. And that was something that was a big concern of mine in one of my, I want to say the last video I posted was, I was talking about math and how difficult that had been, especially when we started the school year. See, when we started the school year, it was like an adjustment for my son. Like, he really did not want to start school. He was really not cooperative. It was hard for him, and he caused hardship for me because I had to just constantly be telling him like to focus and to just do it, and it was an adjustment for his attitude. And so it was hard. Starting school this year was pretty hard. It's never really been that way. My son has always been the type to, especially when it comes to school, he kind of always was a good student and kind of wanted to do school. And the end of first grade and the beginning of this grade, something switched in him where he just wants to play video games, I guess, is like his newest, love. And so, the normal typical kid stuff. So he gave a push against school at the beginning of the year, but I think because of our persistence, he's overcome that, and he sees just how serious it is and that I'm not going to give in to his wants. And so he has to just change his mindset and be on board because that's the only option he has. And so going back to the whole math situation, in the beginning of the year, it wasn't that he wasn't understanding the math concepts, it was just that he was like just not wanting to do it. So as we were going along the lessons, math would just drag. Like, it would take forever to complete math. And so I just thought, okay, this is too much for both of us. And I was considering giving him a math tutor just so that it's someone different and it's like a different environment for him, and maybe that would make things better for him. Like, it would just help him to change his demeanor toward math. But I don't know now if that's necessary, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. But for now, I feel like I can just hold off on that because he's doing great and he's actually very ahead with math. Like, well, let me not exaggerate. I don't know about very ahead, but he's ahead in math where he needs to be when it comes to the timeline of where they want him to be at in the book. So I don't know, I feel like it's going so well. And I mean, he's understanding everything so well. He's getting it. I am just so happy, so happy, because math was just one of those subjects that I was just so nervous. Like, oh, if he does not understand math and he hates math, like, this is not going to be good for us for the future. But he's come around, and I'm so relieved and happy that he's doing well with math. Now, that's math, and just, you know, to recap, I am using Singapore Dimensions. One of the things that was a concern of mine was that maybe it was too much work. There's a lot of workbook pages, but I do feel, and I sincerely say this, I do feel like all the workbooks, all the pages are necessary for practice. I really believe that. I just felt like he was the one that was just not wanting to do what he's supposed to do, but if he does what he's supposed to do, it really should go fairly quickly, and he should get through it and be okay. Like, I don't think it's an overwhelming amount of work. So that's my thoughts on math. Now, another one that he's a little ahead on is grammar. Let's just pull it out real quick. You know, very simple workbookish type of stuff. Sometimes he has to write sentences out. You know, he's combining subjects and predicates, or he's writing a sentence correctly with the correct punctuation marks, things like that. Going really well so far. I'm really loving spelling with Memoria Press. So in my last video, I had mentioned that I felt like they made a mistake with the accent marks, with the pronunciation marks when it came to the short vowels. And so some of you commented and said that no, they're right and I was wrong. So I really appreciate the research that some of you had done, or, you know, the knowledge that you guys had. But it did reassure me so much that we're good. He's on track with that. So I like that. I really like that they include teaching the accent marks. And so let me just show an example. So you can kind of see the long A mark on the top of those vowels. And then the brevs, it's like a U above the vowels on some of them. So that's what I mean when I say accent marks. And yeah, I really like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a little switch of the tone. So now I'm gonna talk about writing. But writing, I personally have not enjoyed it. Yeah, so we switched over to Write Shop from last year. We did Winning with Writing, and I think I'm realizing about myself that I definitely just prefer and I need more of like a open and go curriculum, and that's not what Write Shop is. Write Shop, you need to do a lot of preparation beforehand. You have to have word banks, like a rhyming folder, and then the way that they set up, let me turn this around. The way they set things up is there's a lot of reading ahead of time. They do one worksheet page per week. There's like a guiding writing practice that you're supposed to write out with them and have a discussion with them so that they can help you write out these ideas. Here's like a example of how your conversation might go. Here's extra activities. And so that was day 2. This is day 3, more guided writing practice. I do like when they do these creative little brainstorm type of activities, but it is a lot of preparation beforehand, a lot of reading for the parent beforehand, so you know what you're getting yourself into before you go. Plus, he has like just a lot of guided writing practice. Then they finally do the project that they're supposed to do at the end, and then they do editing. I don't know. That's just a little idea of what it looks like, but it's just, they're trying to be very creative, and at the end of the day, our final project doesn't even come out that great, in my opinion. So I don't know, it's just not, it's not working for us. He's not an arts and crafty person, neither am I, and I just prefer if we just do something a little more like, just something more black and white, something more where we can just fill something out of a workbook type of curriculum. So what I've decided is I'm just gonna go back to using Winning with Writing, and when I get it, I'll show you what it looks like for level 2 and just why I prefer that instead. So yeah, sorry Write Shop, we tried, but it didn't work for us. But let me know if you've used it and if you loved it and how it worked for you if you do use this, because I am curious to know how, you know, this does work out for people, because I do see the potential, but I just, for the reasons I said, it just didn't work out for us. Okay, I've mentioned this before, but Latin has been going so well. I'm just gonna show the cover of the student workbook. It's been going pretty well because my son enjoys languages, and so he's been enjoying, and he's been doing good with memorizing the vocabulary, and I'll test him every week, the older vocabulary from the weeks before, and he remembers pretty well. I'm just gonna show what one lesson looks like. You do like 1 or 2 of these sections a day. So there's some review questions, the translation of the words, just some more practice of the words. It's very simple, as you can see. So we like that. And just, you know, a lot of repetition of the vocabulary. This is what it looks like at the start, going over the sounds of the consonants and vowels, and then the vocabulary. And then he answers these questions after. Okay, let's go over history, Curiosity Chronicles. This is an example of what the student's guide will look like for the week. I'm just gonna show the first lesson. We're on lesson 4 right now, but they have this vocab page, comprehension questions. The timeline we'll put in his history timeline notebook. The word search, he'll do this while I read. We didn't fill this out, oops. I love that they include map work. So he colored in and then wrote a capital. And then they have coloring pages. He only did 1 so far for one of the weeks, but all the weeks are pretty much that way. This time, instead of a word search, they did a crossword. More map work. For this activity, he did a book. So instead of just doing like a match here, I printed out some pictures and he put it into a booklet like this. And yeah, this is where we're at. We're at chapter 4. Okay. This has been going so well, and the biggest reason why this is going well is because of this right here. The textbook is wonderful. Like all the pictures that they include in there, the facts, the way that it's written so well and engaging. He reads because it's like a dialogue. He reads Ted and I read Mona, and we're just going back and forth. So it's so interesting, you guys. All the stuff they talk about is so interesting. It keeps him interested, and I love it. I just love it. Anything that helps him to just listen and to learn about history is amazing. I'm so happy with this curriculum so far. And last but certainly not least, actually it's not last because I forgot something for, oh my gosh, I forgot this for language arts. We started a literature guide, and we're using Memorial Press's literature guides. So we started out with Tales from Beatrix Potter. The vocabulary, I'm gonna just go over out loud as a discussion, but we're gonna do the comprehension questions. He'll write that out. I really liked the questions they asked. I felt like they were very appropriate for his age, but that they were very relevant to the story. So I really thought they did a great job with it so far. I like that they're teaching these things too, like the author illustrator setting. He's learning what those are in the story. So he filled that out. And then life lesson, I thought that was really important thing to go over for the story. And then his little activity. So I look forward to using this again for the next story. Okay, now the best for last, I would say, is science. It's just, I love this. I say this every time I go over science with elemental science. It's just so good. It's so interesting. I love the textbooks. There's just lots of big pictures, interesting facts, and the demonstrations have been pretty fun so far too. We already went over the volcano, we talked about earthquakes, and we did a cool paper mache so that we can build our own earth, and we also used that clay, model clays for the earth, but we cut them in half to show the layers of the earth. So if you cut this in half, you'll see like red, I think red is the core, I'm forgetting now, and orange is the mantle. But anyway, it's been so enjoyable so far. So the student workbook just consists of writing notes from the textbook and then writing his report of the demonstration. And that's pretty much how it goes every week. And also this year, we have been using the review sheets in the back. There's a review sheet and also the glossary in the back. So you can see at the end of the year, this should all be filled out. But little by little, he's adding to the glossary. So yeah, there's just a lot of, hands-on things that we'll be doing and a lot of writing notes. So I really love this curriculum. I think I always will. So that's pretty much the gist of our beginning of the school year, how it's been going. It's been pretty chaotic, but we're getting through. We're a little behind, but I'm determined to just keep on trekking, and I'm determined that we will get back on track and be right where we need to be or be ahead. It shouldn't be too hard to do because, like I said, we're only like a weekish behind in most of the subjects. So that's pretty much everything. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to interact with you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.